And welcome back to the Stan Simpson Show, a program about Connecticut people and compelling issues. Make it a point to drop in every week. Despite a valiant effort against a young and faster Miami Heat team, the Boston Celtics are out of the NBA playoffs, and now talk centers around breaking up the aging core of players who serve as its nucleus. Former UConn star Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett could all find themselves with new addresses next year, as the Celtics must look to rebuild and get younger. Hartford Courant columnist Jeff Jacobs and WTIC AM sportscaster Scott Gray join us for a talk about the future of one of the NBA's most heralded franchises. Then we'll wrap things up, folks, with an update on an emerging scandal surrounding UConn women's basketball coach Gino Auriemma. Jacobs and Gray will stick around and talk about that hot topic. But first, is it time to break up the green? Jacobs and Gray, welcome, guys.
How you doing?
Hot stories going on right now. We'll get to the Gino stuff later, but
can I thank Jeff first for showing up in a suit to show me up?
You know what? Well, everyone shows you up when it comes to dressing, right? And you're wearing socks at least today, right? At least you're wearing socks.
Well, I got to go down and
It's an upset when I've outdressed somebody.
And he's still branding. He's here with the TIC shirt. You're out here branding. So you are well dressed. You're branding.
Branded,
you're
right.
branding.
I'm branded, yeah.
I should get like a Tribune something, CT1, whatever we are now on there. All right, guys. So Celtics. Hot topic, aging core. Remember back in the day, there was Bird, McHale, Parrish. They waited too long to break them up. It took them a decade to rebuild. Are we seeing the same storyline unfolding here?
Well, hey, I wanted teamwork and grit to prevail so much with the Celtics and the Spurs, and talent and youth prevailed. So it's, I think the whole thing hinges on Kevin Garnett's decision whether Doc can convince him to come back. What he could retire, outside chance. If he comes back, there's things to work with. I think Ray is gone, and I think they try to trade him at the trade deadline for O.J. Mayo to Memphis. He signed a 2-year, $20 million deal a few years back. I think he has served them well. They have served him well. Avery Bradley's going to take his minutes. I think Ray is right to leave, and I think we ought to say, nice job, Ray.
Well, let me do this. Let me start at the top first. Let's start with Doc Rivers, then we'll get down to Ray and the player. Let's start with the coach first. Doc Rivers, a rebuilding program. He's a hot commodity. He signed a contract a few years back. What is his future? Does he want to stay for a rebuilding project, or can he decide to go elsewhere?
He seems to me to be re-energized. I mean, there was an awful lot of talk about, particularly when his son was still in high school, about him retiring, wanting to hang it up. He seems re-energized now.
Why, you think?
I don't know what it is. I think that he enjoyed working with this team in particular. I think he saw a lot of things on this team that he liked. I think he sees a nucleus for rebuilding this team, that it may not be that much of a project. I agree with Jeff about Ray Allen, but I do think that there's one possibility that brings Allen back. That's if he's willing to give the Celtics a hometown discount, and he's willing to accept very reduced minutes. I mean, very reduced minutes.
Well, let me stick with Doc first. We'll get to Ray in a second. I'm going to stay on Doc. I want to get down to all the players. Stay with Doc. His coaching forte, his acumen, seemed to emerge this playoff, right? He seemed to have a different level to his game.
I was thinking, if I could cover a team right now, I'd like to cover whatever team he's coaching.
Yeah. Why?
He is, there's like players, coaches, and the tough guys, right? He has this art of actually being the tough guy while being the players guy. Yeah. It's an art, and I just find him to be a wonderful guy, because like, if he told you, he doesn't let you talk to his assistants, like when we want to talk to the Bulls coach, right? And the guy from New Britain, when he's there, Thibodeau. But like, he's so nice about it. You wouldn't believe that he actually forbade you to talk to him during the season. He has an extraordinary relationship with veteran players. He's able to express himself so well, and his humanness comes out. While he's being a sergeant, he's also being sort of a father confessor. He's a wonderful combination.
Well, like Jeff says, the combination of being a tough guy coach and a players coach, but also on the other hand, he has the media eating out of his hand too.
People love him.
There's just a personality trait with this guy.
And this other issue, the other players after the game. I've never seen so many other players come over to make sure they hug him. Yeah, they love him.
They have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and there are a lot of players out there that would like to play for him, which might serve the Celtics well, because there are some restricted free agents that are going to look very attractive to the Celtics during the offseason that might like to have an opportunity to play for him and could serve them well. A guy like Roy Hibbert, for instance. They're either going to have to find another center, and I don't think there's one out there in the draft, to replace Garnett, or they're going to have to find somebody to help Garnett with the minutes.
But Doc is an asset. You're saying he's a keeper. He must stay. He should stay.
Right.
Now you guys mentioned Ray throughout the whole show. Let's talk about Ray Allen now. You want to talk about him, former UConn guy. Hall of Famer, right? Hall of Fame credentials.
Absolutely.
Now we're near the tail part of his career.
Well.
He now looking at a role player status, though, right?
It's a lot. There's some talk that he didn't get along that well with Rondo.
True.
Don't know enough about it. I think even the guys that cover the team don't know enough about it, but there's some friction there. Look, Ray is going to he's going for the surgery to fix the bone spurs. First of all, we've got to make sure he's healthy.
Right.
Now, if he's healthy and he's such a disciplined workout guy, he's going to get back in shape. He says there's life in his legs. Maybe not in the ankle right now, but in his legs. He's going to want to play and score. He's a player, Stan. He's a star. He's a superstar. He's a Hall of Famer.
But he's 30, what, 6 now? The legs are getting a little tired.
If I thought I could have reduced minutes on who's ever going to win the NBA championship next year for one more ring, maybe I do that. But otherwise, I think Ray thinks he's going to play. And Avery Bradley, he's a comer now. He's a great defender, on-the-ball defender who they missed, and he's going to demand major minutes. And so you're really asking Ray to take a diminished role.
Well, does he have the ego for it?
Like you say, he said his legs were fine. But a big problem for the Celtics, particularly in that last series, was Ray's shooting. And an indication, one of the first indications that your legs are going and you're losing is your shooting, because your legs are so important, particularly for a jump shooter like Ray Allen. And I questioned all series long whether or not Ray had the legs to finish it off.
How about this? Does he have the ego to take a significant cut in pay to be a role player wherever he lands? Because that's what he'll be.
I believe in my heart that he feels he has more to give. So it's more. Yes, it's ego.
But it's about money, though, too.
But it's about money,
right.
and it's about where I think he sees his status right now. So I think he thinks he's better than that bench player.
But they all do. All the aging stars.
Well, very few people say in all walks of life. Most of us we've been pulled off the stage.
Maybe he is, but if he stays with the Celtics, it's going to be a very limited role because
I think anywhere he goes, he's going to be in a limited role. Anywhere he goes.
But I think with the Celtics even more so. He's going to have to, if his decision is to stay with the Celtics, it's going to be based on the fact that they are the Celtics, and he's willing to play for them for less money, and he's willing to play fewer minutes for them.
And take a lot less money.
A lot less. Well,
a lot less money.
A lot less money.
That's the ego thing.
Hometown discount.
Yeah, that's tough to do. That's hometown discount. It's one thing to have a discount.
But that's the only way he stays with the Celtics. If he can wrap his head around that.
We're going to get to Gino in the third segment. We're going to break down the Celtics. We have Kevin Garnett to talk about, Paul Pierce. We're going to talk about that and then talk about Gino. So we're going to come back, guys. You stick around? Get some cold water here for you guys. You stick around.
Hey, I
poured it myself.
He's dressed for success here.
All right, we continue our conversation with Jacobs and Gray, folks. Break down the Boston Celtics. It is time to break them up, and then we'll talk about Gino Auriemma and the emerging scandal brewing at UConn. Remember to catch the show 24/7, ctnow.com/Stan. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Don't go away.